Oh, hello again. I have a question for you. Do you love maps? Do you get that little tingling feeling in your stomach when you look at those beautiful contour lines? Huh? Hey. It's not about those kind of maps. Wait. What maps is this video about then? It's supposed to be about warthunder maps. Oh, but I thought it was supposed to be about... Well, you thought wrong. Man, I had this all planned out. I was going to talk about contour lines, different terrain types, and all kinds of other stuff. Well, it's about warthunder maps. Okay then. Maps. Love them or hate them, they are integral to all video games. Whether it's a 2D platformer, a flight simulator, or even a space exploration game. When designing maps, artists have to create a design that complements the game. For instance, in a 2D platformer, you wouldn't want a massive sloped mountain in the middle, as it would make the map unplayable. No. Instead, you'd opt for, well, platforms, or blocky terrain. Map designers often seek inspiration from other video games, literature, or real-life locations. Now, let's dive into map design in War Thunder. War Thunder is known for its commitment to realism. They attempt to model anything from World War I tanks to active service aircraft as close to their real-life counterparts as they can. I mean, they're literally trying to emulate the damage the shell does as it's passing through the armor of the enemy tank. But does this extend to its map design? Take the Berlin map for instance. This map is based on the real-life location around the Reichstag in Germany, capturing the historic battleground of 1945 when the Allied forces invaded Berlin. But this is not the only one. Maps like Normandy and Port, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that,
Novorossiysk,
is clearly heavily inspired by their real-life counterparts, to the point where even several roads line up. But how true is this? If we take a look at the Sweden map, which is supposedly based on Stockholm, specifically the Old Town, when comparing the game map to its real-life counterpart, significant differences emerge instantly. The middle island is replaced by a peninsula, and while the Swedish castle is present, it has been slightly altered. Some maps, like Ash River and Karelia, while based on real-life locations, are almost entirely fictional. So, does War Thunder truly prioritize realism in its map design? I was curious about this, and decided to ask Gaijin directly. What is the general thought around map design for ground battles? Do you focus on realistic locations corresponding to historical wars, or do you lean more towards fictional settings?
I mean, it depends. I mean, there are maps that mirror real-life locations and others that sort of combine half and half, and others that are just, like, well, inspired by certain places, but overall don't match any particular, like, layout. It depends.
It turns out that Gaijin uses a mix of approaches. They use real-life locations as more of inspiration, but modify them to fit the game better, resulting in maps that are not exact replicas of real places. With the origin of the maps clarified, let's discuss their balance. Many players feel that the maps are unbalanced, especially at top tier. They feel that either the area where they fight is too cramped for modern tanks, therefore not allowing them to fully utilize their advantages, like laser rangefinders, and instead making it a game about who shoots who first. Or that the spawns are positioned so one team reaches critical map points first. A good example of this is the Carpathians map. If we time how long it takes each side to reach a spot from where they can shoot into the enemy spawn, we should start to see a pretty large difference. So let's do just that. Now, let's speed up the footage a bit to make this go by a little bit faster. Here we can see that one side uses a staggering 71 seconds, while the other one uses only 47. Granted, there are some trees in the way, but these can easily be shot down. Now, this often leads to one team being able to shoot tanks as they're exiting their spawn. Though, this is mostly an issue for high rank battles. But lower ranks also experience some imbalance. In particular, the issue where if one team gets control of certain vantage points, they can begin to shoot tanks as they're spawning. This is to some extent mitigated by the spawn protection, but this does feel more like a band-aid fix than an actual solution to the problem at hand. Top tier players are frustrated because the maps they play are often just expanded versions of these mid-rank maps, with the spawns moved further back.
You fucking...
This adjustment doesn't fix the core issues. It merely increases the time it takes to reach the objectives, without adding any new content to these expanded areas. This is in particular a big issue for Air RB, as back in March of 2023, some Air RB maps were reworked. By this, Gaijin meant that they moved the spawns further away from the center of the map, 46 kilometers away from the center to be specific, but they did not move any of the objectives. Therefore, not changing the map at all, just adding at least 3+ minutes of travel time before you end up in the same situation as you did before. This lack of top tier specific maps means longer match durations without resolving the core issues. For instance, there are top tier air maps with errors like flying bushes. And if you think these bushes are just a flying graphical thing, no, they're an actual flying physical bush that if you fly into it, your plane will explode. And how it took them several months to fix this, I truly do not know. That is beyond me. Now, you might wonder if this top tier issue is significant. And the answer is yes. War Thunder is designed around progression and the excitement of unlocking new top tier vehicles. Players invest substantial time and money to reach this level, expecting a high quality experience. It's truly disappointing that Gaijin hasn't put more effort into refining these maps for their most dedicated players, and instead opting for quick fixes, like moving the spawns back. I really didn't like that one. Don't know if you can tell. In conclusion, while War Thunder offers a visually and historically rich map experience, there's a clear need for better balance, and more dedicated top tier maps, to ensure an engaging experience for all the players. But, what are your thoughts on War Thunder maps? Do you think they need an overhaul? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. See you in the next video.